Is Kyle Shanahan doing a good job? The 49ers are 3-3, and they're in first place in their division. You could argue that those games didn't matter, and they're in a great spot right now, and they're poised to go great. What do you think?
Okay. We can only speak about 6 games. We don't know about the other games, about the next 11. We can only talk about what he's done. So, as in my wife's old Italian family, they used to say, up to so far. We could only say how they're doing up to so far.
Up to so far.
Up to so far. So it's true that first place of maybe the worst division in football, or one of the worst. And they have a 3-3 record, which is the essence of mediocrity. It's not a winning record. It's not a losing record. They have lost to some really bad teams. Don't have to go over that. They have beaten some really bad teams. They have proven nothing. So is Kyle doing a good job? How's his offense doing, Iggy?
It's awful in the red zone.
Awful in the red zone. The defense, I did some stats. In terms of points allowed per game, they're about 12th. I think I have this right. And Kansas City is 6th points allowed per game. So they're not startling. And they've given it up twice at the end of games. That's very bad. That they had 10-point leads in the fourth quarter in 2 games against horrible teams and gave it up, right, Iggy?
Yes.
Well, that's very bad. Now you say, well, Kyle doesn't handle the defense. Yes, he does. He's the head coach. He's the head coach. He's responsible for everything. So he's gotten them a mediocre record, losses to horrible teams, has not beaten a good team, and has not particularly looked good in beating bad teams. I feel there is something, again, I can't put my finger on it. I feel there's something wrong in that locker room. I do. I feel there's something wrong in that locker room, that perhaps they're losing faith in him. And believe me, the players losing faith in him, I can understand it. Or there's 2 tiers of teammates. One, the select few that he likes, and the others who think, what about me? And my guess is these wonderful defensive backs. Again, Iggy, I'm not there, but I know how things work. These wonderful defensive backs, they're not the select few. They may be pissed. I don't know
I think when you say there's 2 teams, I feel like the teams are whether you're in or whether you're out. And everyone knows that Brock Purdy's going to get this huge extension next year, and it's going to push a lot of people out. And I think you saw a lot of veterans fight for guaranteed money over the next few years to ensure that they were in, whether they got injured or not this year. And now you got guys like Talanoa Hufanga, Trevarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, Aaron Banks, a lot of players who are free agents next year who haven't gotten extended, and they're wondering, am I here next year? It's probably looking like I'm not. And if this team is going down, then I need to make sure that I'm healthy next year, because I'm going to be a free agent and I'm not going to be signing here. So all of a sudden you have like a lot of players who could be making like human nature business decisions. I'm out and I know it. So I just can't sell out for this team the way that I would have in the past. That's where they're at. Now, if they go on a run, maybe all the players will buy in, but if they're sitting at 3-4, 3-5, that's when you can see a lot of veterans just kind of check out
and protect themselves, because after all, it's a business. And we're not accusing them of doing it, but if they do it, it's understandable.
That's the business.
And that's how football players think. They don't anymore think like Trent Williams. He doesn't think I'm a 49er. He thinks I'm a free agent who plays for the 49ers.
Right.
I'm an independent contractor.
And that's why this game against the Chiefs is so important, because it could rally the whole team together. It's not one team right now. It's a couple of teams.
That's how I feel. I feel that it's divided against itself. And I think I want to come back to that. That is Kyle.
Right.
Because he had to fight to make this one team. I don't know that he was successful or even tried.
Well, he isn't successful yet. If they beat the Chiefs, clearly they're one team. But right now, they're not one team. And like, these are basic jobs for a head coach. I don't want to hear about your scheme. And yeah, he's responsible for the red zone. He has to figure that out. But like, the culture of the team, having it be one team, being able to close out games when you have a double-digit lead. These are areas where he's failing. And like great coaches don't fail in these basic areas.
So, Iggy, do you think what grade would you give Kyle for the first 6 games?
I would give him a D because 3-3 is a C, but like this isn't a 3-3 team. You're underperforming, and this was the weakest, easiest part of the schedule. It only gets more difficult. Like when the schedule came out, if I had told people, "Hey, look, they're going to go 3-3 here," people would be like, "What are you talking about? There's no way." But it happened. A D.
Wow. I might give him a C.
Okay.
Maybe I was always a high grader when I used to grade people. Maybe I'd give him a C for the very same reasons. He's 3-3. They're not out of it. They have a shot against Kansas City, but they've really sucked in a lot of areas. I'd give it a C. I think what we're both saying is we're dissatisfied with his performance.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. And look, I want to say a couple of other things because we're talking about him now, Iggy. If he doesn't make the playoffs, now this is a stretch. No, he's going to make the playoffs because he's going to win the division. Okay. But Iggy, if he is a low seed, he would have to travel in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
If he's and again,
no. If they win the division, their first game's at home.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Iggy, if they win the division, but they have like 9-8, something like that, they're going to lose in the first round.
Right, because they'd have to play Detroit or yeah. Minnesota or some team really good.
So, again, if Lowell were running the team, if they get in and they lose in the first round, you have to have a change of leadership. You have to have a new general manager and a new head coach. I'm sorry. They had their shot. They almost made it. I love when people say, you undervalue Kyle. He got to the NFC Championship. He got to 2 Super Bowls. You don't win a goddamn Super Bowl. And if he gets eliminated in the first round, Jed has to come out of his coma and fire him and fire John Lynch.
Yes, that's the business. Sorry, they've gotten much more rope than any other people in their position would have gotten.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. Dad, real quick, bonus news: the Bills have traded for Amari Cooper.
I like Amari Cooper.
Me too. What a nice addition for Josh Allen. They've been winning without a dominant wide receiver. Now they have someone who can throw the ball downfield to.
Yeah, I want to say something else about that game last night. It was a close game. It's the Jets. I was talking to Iggy before we went on. That Hail Mary pass at the end of the first half, it was a lucky play. I mean, you can't say they planned it. It was a lucky play. That game wasn't that close. Buffalo was much better. Buffalo's a hell of a team. The Niners have to play Buffalo.
Yeah. Iggy, and the way I look at it is Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, Houston, those 4 teams in the AFC seem more serious than any team in the NFC.
They have to play Buffalo, Kansas City. Who else they got to play?
In the Buffalo, AFC? Kansas City, Detroit, Tampa Bay, Green Bay.
Yeah. Iggy, if they lose, especially badly to Kansas City, all of those games you just mentioned are potential losses.